Hi there, Jim Townsend here again, just talking to you out of my Pentagon Pyramid Dome. It's an interesting little structure that I've made here. This is my Pentagon Pyramid Dome. I patented this as the Canadian Igloo, so I own the patents to the Canadian Igloo. I just want to talk to you about sacred geometry and why I built this. If you look at it from the top, you can see that it's a five-sided pyramid, okay, Pentagon Pyramid. Now, a friend of mine, Ian Dakers, Elijah Ignatieff, a few years ago gave me a book on sacred geometry, quite a few years ago. It was an interesting book and I was absolutely fascinated with it, and as a consequence of that, I started using my 3D modeling program in Datamorph. That's my software application of it's a artificially intelligent software emulation of a human brain that I can put any and all of my information into. And I started modeling with it, and I wanted to create this thing that was just an expression of what I perceive to be in nature. So I originally called this my temple to the creator. I think that there's two types of people in the world. There's creators and destroyers. And people that create are in sync with the earth. People that destroy are just mindless beasts on the face of the earth that have no idea how to channel their creative energies. So I want to talk about my interesting little dome here. Now this is much stronger than a conventional house. I am a certified renovations contractor, so I've been taught formally how to design structures and calculate snow loads and wind loads and stuff like this. And this little structure can bear a far greater snow load or wind load than any square house. Now, you know, we talk about thinking out of the box, but really we live in these little square boxes. So none of us think out of the box. Well, if you want to think out of the box, you got to get out of the box and start living in something else. Now, there's actually a progression of number that I was talking about, and I want to talk a little bit more about this progression of number and symbology. You know, at one point in time I thought, you know, isn't that interesting, the coincidence between our number system and what you perceive in nature? Like if you look at, you know, we speak of the quintessence of life. And if you look at any fruit-bearing tree, look at the flower on that tree, it has 5 petals. Well, that's interesting. And then I realized, hey, you know what, that's not a coincidence. See, our number system was designed from what we perceive in nature. And in nature, you either find this duality or this asymmetry. And by applying fractal geometry to either symmetry or asymmetry, we come up with all of the literally every structure that we see in nature. So let's just take a look at my dome here. It's a Pentagon Pyramid Dome, and look at the progression of number. 0 represents nothing, but it also represents everything. So there's that strange duality. So we start with nothing or everything. What's the first number? First number is 1. Well, conceptually, 1 is a point, entity, an individual. Everything is a singularity. 2 is 2 points, which makes a line. So 1 is represented by a point, 2 is represented by a line. Going on in that progression, we come to the number 3. Now 3 is really interesting because it has 3 points joined by 3 lines, and whenever you join up those points and lines, you have a surface. A plane comes out of it. So in the ancient Vedic religion, 3 was known as the mother of form because that gave rise to form. Now the most primary shape that comes out of form is the square. So if we take a look at my Pentagon Pyramid, the way that it goes together, we can see a point. Okay, we can see a point. We can see a line joining 2 points, and then we can see the I'm working backwards to what I can see, and I'm not real familiar with it, but you can see the triangle, and then all of the shapes in my Pentagon Pyramid Dome are all triangles, but the most primary shape that we have is the square. So actually we've got 15 squares which give rise to this polygon here, So we've got a square and a rectangle, but essentially they're all squares. So here we've got 4 on the bottom. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and then 4. The first shape is out of the 4. So that's our primary shape, and that's where our structures is stuck, on the first layer of this. Well, moving up the structure, we see the next number is 5. 5, comprised of 5 triangles. So there are actually 5 corners on my pyramid. So we've got 5 five-sided shapes that hold up the roof of this structure. What is the roof of the structure? Well, the next thing it goes on to is a hexagon, contained by 6 triangles, and then a 7th triangle on the top is the completion of the number 7. So we have the quintessence of life, and then 6 is a number of higher order. If you look at ant colonies, bees, and everything else, they make a great use of the hexagon, the 6-sided shape. Structure comes out of that. And of course 7 is the number of the Godhead. So 7 days in a week, the sun is on a 28-day cycle, and for 7 days of the week we're bombarded with positive ions, and 7 days of the week with negative ions. The fierce photonic flux given off by the sun generates all of what we perceive to be reality in life. The sun's 99.9% of our solar system. Everything in our solar system revolves around the sun. We are quite literally beings of trapped light. So I think that we are not going to ascend spiritually, we're not going to ascend intellectually, as long as we keep living in a box. So we got to get out of the box, start thinking out of the box, and get into these structures. I really hope that you enjoyed my Pentagon Pyramid, and if you want to read more about it, I have some more stuff on my blog. If you go to gentiledefenseleague.org and just go down into some of my perambulations there, you'll find me describing that structure. I want to put my inventions on here. I have many inventions, I have many patents and copyrights and things, and I just want to share them with the human race. I mean, nobody makes anything off inventions. It's all lawyers and bankers. They're just pigs. They're smashing everything in our societies, and they're just picking up everything. Nobody has anything. So it's the great thing. It's either money or sharing. So this is just my attempt to share. Anybody would like to build a dome, I can send you a model constructed out of my Datamorph program that has all of the cuts and everything else that you need to make it. Well, peace y'all. Take care. Love you.